5 years ago, Atticus family law secured shared custody and 50-50 parenting time for Lucas, a Minneapolis father of a 4-year-old daughter. Lucas lived with the child and the child's mother, Zoe, for years after she was born. But 6 months prior to Zoe filing for sole custody, they had broken up. Lucas's claim for these father's rights was made more difficult as he had previous opioid use issues. In the wake of the breakup and separation, Lucas went back to using. By the time the case was filed by Zoe's attorney, his usage was so severe that Zoe was able to get an emergency order that seriously limited Lucas's access to his daughter. In many cases, this sort of temporary order spells doom for the future of the dad's parental rights. With the support of his parents, Lucas stopped using, sought treatment, and hired Atticus Family Law. We used the facts of his sobriety, his treatment, the stability he had established after moving back in with his parents, and his new secure job to reposition Lucas for the rest of the case. At the next hearing, the judge was glad to hear Lucas had sought treatment, but was openly skeptical of his future. The judge recognized that those that struggle with chemical addiction often need multiple treatment attempts if they are to have long-term sobriety. Nonetheless, we persevered. Zoe agreed with my plan for all of us to attend a social early neutral evaluation. At this form of mediation, the parties and their counsel meet with a pair of neutral evaluators, one trained in law and another in child development, to spend a half-day understanding the issues of the parties, their relationships with their daughter, and to make recommendations as to how best to proceed given how the judge may rule. By the time of this evaluation, a couple of months later, Lucas had even more sobriety, more support systems, and a greater track record of stability. We prepared Lucas for the evaluation, and it went swimmingly. At the evaluation, we were able to showcase his positive future while extending an olive branch to Zoe. At the end of that session, the parties reached a binding agreement that secured for Lucas joint legal custody, joint physical custody, and equal parenting time with their 4-year-old daughter once Lucas moved back to Minneapolis from his parents' house. His opioid usage, if it had continued, very well could have cost him shared custody and 50-50 parenting time for the years ahead, if not forever. Instead, we were able to turn Lucas's case around. The client today continues to have a great relationship with his daughter and actively, amicably shares custodial rights with Zoe. Atticus Family Law. This is where it gets better. Guaranteed.